Okay, so this lesson is on indefinite pronouns. So indefinite pronouns are pronouns that don't refer to a particular person, place, or thing. So they refer to a person, place, or thing. It's just not definite. We're not sure what person, what place, or what thing is being referred to. So an example, has anyone read the folk tale, The Voice of the River? So in this case, anyone's clearly referring to a person, but we're not sure which person it is being referred to. So just like personal pronouns and possessive pronouns in plural, okay, there are a handful that could be used either as a singular or as a plural, depending on its antecedent. There are 5. All the other ones are definitely either always singular or always plural. They're one or the other in the sentence. It's just there are 5 that could be either singular or plural in the sentence. So this is your chart. This is in your notes, okay? So the singular pronouns are this group right here. These are always singular no matter what. The easiest thing I kind of think is any pronoun that ends in the words body, one, or thing. Okay, so we have anybody, everybody, somebody, nobody. We have the ones that end in one, anyone, everyone, no one, someone. And then we have the ones that end in thing, anything, everything, nothing, something. Okay, then we have these down here, another, each, one, much, neither, or either. These are always singular, okay? So that means that when you write them in a sentence, you need to use singular possessive pronouns, singular verbs, etc. with them. The ones that are always plural, I think by just the sake of their meaning makes sense. So both would be 2, few would be more than 1, many, others, and several. By definition, these words mean more than one of whatever it is you're referring to. So these are the ones that are always plural. The ones that could be either refer to a measurement, right? So all of something, any of something, most of something, none of something, or some of something. So these could be multiple numbers, right? So all could be 10, or all could be a fraction, right? 100% of one thing, 100% of the cookie, for example. So these are designate some type of amount or percentage. So what does that actually mean? All right, so indefinite pronouns don't have known antecedents all the time. So some examples, everything is ready for the trip, right? So in this case, we can kind of get a sense of what would be included in the everything, but we don't specifically know what everything is. Few are willing to wait until tomorrow. So again, few is some group of people, but we don't know which of the people are in the few, right? So it's indefinite. Sometimes they do have specific antecedents, even if we don't know specifically what which one's in the group. So for example, both of the artists use watercolors. So in this case, both the antecedent is artists, right? So we know that we're talking about the artists. And then this example, as the animals paraded by, several seemed nervous. In this case, we know that several is referring to the animals. It's a percentage of the animals. It wasn't all of the animals. So it's kind of indefinite as to which ones we mean specifically, but we do know that its antecedent is animals. So when we use indefinite pronouns with possessive pronouns, the possessive pronoun must match its number. So there is no gender with indefinite pronouns because, again, they're indefinite. So we don't really know if we're typically referring to a male or female antecedent. However, we do know if we mean one or more than one. So, for example, everyone is singular, always. If we go back to our chart, it's in the singular section of that chart. Everyone did their homework last night. Their is incorrect. Okay, I know we say it all the time. We say it because it's gender neutral. When we say there, it could be male, female, a mix, right? So we use it because we don't know when we say everyone what we're referring to in terms of gender. However, it is incorrect because everyone is singular and there is plural. What you should write or say is everyone did his or her homework last night. And it's or, not and, because again, everyone is singular, right? So everyone did his or her homework. They each did their own, okay, homework. So when we use a possessive pronoun, it would be, his or her would be appropriate as singular. Another example, somebody left their binder on the floor. Okay, so again, somebody is always singular, theirs plural. This is incorrect. We would need to say somebody left his or her binder on the floor because we don't know the gender of the somebody. So we would say his or her, and that would be correct. One of the ways you can avoid having to say his or her is just don't use a possessive pronoun at all. So when you're revising and editing your writing, if you see that you did this, instead of saying everyone did their homework, just change it to the. Everyone did the homework last night. Somebody left a binder or the binder on the floor. Change it to an article, and then you don't have to even use a possessive pronoun. So the verb form must also agree. So if it's a singular indefinite pronoun, we should use a verb that would be used with a singular noun. And if it's a plural indefinite pronoun, we should use a verb that we would use with a plural noun. So examples. Everyone discusses the plot of the book. Okay? So here everyone is singular. Discusses is the correct form, not discuss. And the reason for this is because it's singular. You can think he or she, not they. They would be they discuss the plot of the book. That is incorrect. Everyone discusses because it's singular. He discusses or she discusses the plot of the book would be correct. If it's plural, both talk about King Minos. So in this case, because both means more than one, we can think about it as being a they. They talk about King Minos. And that would be the correct verb that we use. That's the verb we use with any plural subject. Discusses is the verb we would use with any singular subject. So we call this replacement substitution. Okay, so when you're substituting in your head, it's in your head, it's not on the paper, it's in your head. Like, what would I use if it was he, she, or it for singular? What would I use if it was they for plural? And that will help you get the correct spelling form of the verb. So we have to now deal with the pronouns that can be either singular or plural depending on the sentence, right? So there's 5, all, any, most, some, and none. Okay, so when the antecedent is singular, and these are referring to a fraction of one thing, okay, all of one thing, any of one thing, most. So for example, a pie, right? Or in the example in the sentence, an apple. Most of the apple is bruised. Apple is singular. We're referring to a percentage of the apple, a fraction of the apple. So most becomes singular in this sentence, and we would use is because apple is singular. On the other hand, if we said most of the students are hungry, students is the antecedent here of most. Students is plural. We have multiple students, so therefore most is considered plural in this sentence. And then we would say are, not is. Most are hungry. Okay? And you can think about it as being a they, right? So in this sentence, the apple is singular. It's an it. It is bruised. Most of it is bruised. In this one, students are plural. Most of them are hungry. They are hungry, right? So most changes in this sentence is singular. In this sentence is plural. It's not either or both. It is singular or plural in the sentence. It's just sometimes it will be singular and sometimes it will be plural. That's what we mean when we say either.